Yo, mi gente. Let the brujeria begin, bro. It's getting really wicked out here, bro. Toma. 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 When I say Vic, you say Cesar. Vic, Cesar. Vic, Cesar. Toma. 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 Smash that light, then drop a toma. Smash that light, then drop a toma. Yeah. We gonna spin that back one more time, man. Toma. Hit that like button. There's a lot of brujeria going on in the sport of boxing. When I say Vic, you say Cesar. Vic, get wicked. Cesar. Vic, Cesar. Toma. 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 Smash that light, then drop a toma. Smash that light, then drop a toma. Without further ado, we gonna get right into it, son. I ain't got no time to be wasting, son. We got this motherfucker getting hit by the ice baby. Julio Cesar Chavez getting hit from the ice baby. Whatever thought. I never seen this coming. Not lying though, low key. Once I seen the video interview a little bit ago. Once I seen an interview of Julio Cesar Chavez, bro, and he seemed like he had a little button up. You know what I'm saying? He had a few sniffles. He was still looking nice though with the rollie, with the chain. I'm not gonna lie, bro. In my head, I'm like, yeah. He got some type of plugs, bro. He's a part of something. He got some plugs in the game of boxing, bro, and outside of the game of boxing. Sure enough, you know, the craziest thing about this though is they hit bro after his fight. You don't find that crazy? ICE decided to take him out after the fight. I got a lot of thoughts about that. Like, bro, why after? Why not before the fight? You wanted him to get the bag first and then get him. You know what I'm saying? Mexico wanted to make sure that he got the bag first. Like, yo, we gonna hit him with some shit. We got some fines we can hit him with. But the money we really trying to get out of him, he may not have right now. How about let him do the fight first and then we hit him? And guess what? They sure enough hit that bull with the ice. Damn. Free Chavez, bro. They hit Chavez with the ice, bro. Hold on, man. Ain't no way. Let's see how. Where's the volume at for this? We're gonna have to raise this up. Hold on. So this Jones been on this whole time while I've been talking. 1 second. I gotta make sure that I can at least hear this joint. Hold on. Advanced. Let's see. Now we're gonna have to go to the advanced joints. Okay. I couldn't even hear, bro. Alright.
Con el gloves on if you want me to. ¿No tienes algo, zapatos?
No.
¿Pocillos?
Nada.
¿No tienes nada?
Mi celular aquí en la bolsa de atrás.
Aquí es el celular.
Yeah, they was doing bro really dirty, bro. I'm not gonna lie, hit that like button on your way in. They was doing bro a hella dirty, bro. I can't even front.
You do want me to search? Con el gloves on if you want me to. ¿No tienes algo, zapatos?
No.
¿Pocillos?
Nada.
¿No tienes nada?
Mi celular aquí en la bolsa de atrás.
Aquí es el celular.
No tienes nada contigo, ¿eh?
Yes, pockets in the front of the jacket.
¿El teléfono? El phone. I know when you're ready, dude. Oh, it's on the Ay, no le informan a mi abogado lo de cuando ya tengo una orden. Te vamos a llamar, vamos a dar llamada. Sí, pero por ejemplo, él no me hubiera avisado, oye.
So he looks pretty calm, like he ain't got nothing to worry about, bro. I think he's good money, man. I I don't think he got so much to worry about. He looks like he's chilling. Yeah, man. So here's what they talking about here. Hopefully I can see this ish, because I'm pretty far away from the screen. I gotta bring my screen closer or something. Here we have it. This was reported by Homeland Security. Hopefully this is the legit page. It looks like it is. This on the X app on his Twitter. So let's get right to it. It says, on July 2nd, ICE, aka I.C.E, arrested Mexican boxer and criminal legal alien Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He is now being processed for expedited removal from the United States. For expedited, okay, I read that kind of like that sentence. I read that sentence hella slow. That it says the Sinaloa Cartel Affiliate. So they're trying to say he's affiliated to a specific cartel from Mexico. Has an active arrest warrant in Mexico for his involvement in organized crime and trafficking firearms, ammunitions, and explosive. Under President Trump, no one is above the law, including world famous athletes. Our message to any cartel affiliates in the U.S. is clear. We will find you and you will face consequences. And then it says the days of unchecked cartel violence are over. Yeah, man. So it seems like they really got that bull, bro. They really got that bull, bro. That's crazy work, son. Why they do him like that? Why they do him like that? They really got him. Toma. They got him. Yo, Vic, that's crazy, bro. That's brujeria, yeah, bro. That's brujeria, bro. They did that, bro, dirty, bro. Damn, son. My question is, this is my only question, bro, when it comes to this topic, man, and it's pretty simple, it's pretty clear. Why in the world, when it comes to this specific topic, why in the world did they mother effing catch him after the fight and not before the fight? That's my biggest thing right now. What happened? What was the whole situation with them getting him after the fight? It was easy to catch him during the fight. I don't understand that. It was easy to catch, bro, during the fight. One of the biggest fights, right? Even though, you know, it's Jake Paul, whatnot, but it was still a decent event, right? But nah, bro, you know what they said? They said, listen, man. We gonna catch him after, because he's getting the bag. He's getting the bag, and we gonna catch bro after the fight. Ain't no point of us getting them during the fight, because then we gonna fumble the bag. If we get him before the fight, we gonna fumble the bag. Let's get him after the fight. And he happens to be a part of this cartel thing, whatever the case is. I'm not sure how true that is. You know, if the Mexican government is like America's government, you know how America do you. America do you dirty. You get caught with a nick, you get caught with a dime bag, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna say that shit was a pound. You get caught with a dime bag of some marijuana, they're gonna be like, he just got caught with a kilo, man. We just caught him with a kilo of some marijuana. They're gonna try to put you under and throw away the key. I don't know, bro. Shout out to Chavez and all that. It's brujeria, though. It's brujeria that they did him like that. I'm not gonna lie. Catch him at the fight, out the public in danger according to their training. Yeah, I don't know, man. They kind of like, they threw me off with that one. I'll be honest. I didn't think they caught him at a time. Like, two things run through my mind. They wanted to make sure that they didn't fumble the bag, right? That's what I'm thinking. Let's catch him after the fight. That's one. Two, another thing that's running through my mind when I'm thinking about this is what? are they doing this because he lost to Jake Paul? They said this motherfucker lost. It's a wrap. He's no good. He's no good to us no more. He's no good to us. We gonna have to raid this motherfucker now because he embarrassed us in front of the world. Motherfucker couldn't beat a YouTuber. Guess what? We coming at your neck now, ninja. Yo, pana. We come. You know what? I'm gonna replace the N-word with pana now. That's gonna be my new thing. Pana, or let me see. I'm gonna create my own joint. That's what I'm gonna do. Instead of saying the ninja, instead of saying, I'm gonna say, yo, tomafo. Yo, tomafo. Say, let me stop playing. But listen, man, that's crazy work, bro. Court fees, yeah, man, they did that boy dirty. Yeah, they say, you know what, let's just get the court fees popping. Look into Los Chapitos versus Los Mayos. There was a bunch of headless bodies 2 days ago. Damn, bro, I don't want to do no research on that. Yo, Cartel, yo, Mexico, all you, I got love for all you motherfuckers. I'm not picking no side. I got nothing to do with that. Vive Mexico, man. That's all I gotta say. Vive Mexico. I don't got no. Listen, man. I'm against, you know. I don't even want to say what I'm against at this point. Motherfuckers be like, nigga, I don't care if it's right or wrong. You against us, nigga. Shout out to, yeah, them. I don't, no shots. You know, God bless everybody. It's sick. It's a sick world out here, bro. It's a sick world out here. But the crazy thing is that they got the government, the Mexican government done got Chavez after losing. Did they catch him out? You let me know in the comments. Did they catch him after the fight or they caught him after losing? If you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Or let me put it in a better phrase for you. Did they catch him after the fight because they wanted to get the bag, or they caught him after he lost because he embarrassed Mexico? What is it? It has to be one of them. Let me know what you think. It's the same cartel that kidnapped Canelo brother. Damn, bro. So, oh, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me? Wait, you're talking about, so the one that he's a part of is the same one that took out Canelo, that kidnapped Canelo's brother? Is that the same one? That's wild. Listen, one thing you don't do, regardless, you should always have respect for everybody, bro. Always have respect for everybody. But if there's people you don't want to disrespect, it's these motherfuckers right here. You don't want to disrespect these cartel, man. You think it's all sweet. Don't take a vacation to Mexico. Don't do none of that. You're gonna learn a lesson that's gonna cost your life, bro. But the craziest thing is that the fact that he was involved with the same group. He was involved with the same group that kidnapped Canelo. That makes me like wonder and you know, damn, like, do they have some type of beef that we never heard of before? And it's deeper than what we think it is because he's affiliated. I don't know if he's truly affiliated. You know what I'm saying? We all could think that he's affiliated with him, but that's just what the media is saying. Maybe he don't really have much affiliation with him. Maybe he just knows somebody that knows somebody and somehow got himself involved with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't gonna be investigating it, but just saying. He has been under the radar since 2023. That's a good point. He definitely been under the radar. Make sure to hit that like button, man. Y'all gotta make sure to hit that like button, man. We almost at 10K, man. We need a couple more subs for 10K, man. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We almost at 10K. You know what I'm saying? This is wicked, bro. Wicked work. I don't drink brew, but somebody in my family put me into, they put me on the sun here. It's crabby. It's a very like high class ginger type of taste. Figure, you know what? I'm an adult. I could take a drink here and there. Why not, right? But what I will say is that I won't allow that drinking shit to take control of my character and say the wrong shit on the internet. You seen that one Mexican bull he started talking crazy. Let me know if you know who I'm talking about. That Mexican boy that was talking crazy on the cartel. And he used to do jokes. He did a lot of videos of him drinking. And next thing you know, he exposed where he was heading to like a little, meet and greet joint. And guess what happened? Toma, 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 toma. Toma. They took that motherfucker out. They thought, oh, you want to see that? You think that's funny? Toma, huepa, tacho. Took that little homie out, bro. Sick work. The short fat dude who got shot. Yeah, man. Yeah. Don't play with them dudes, bro. You know what's crazy? This applies no matter where you go. But it's like times 10 when you go to places like Mexico because they are in control of their country for the most part, bro. I don't know no other place. Well, and maybe there is. I'm not saying there's not. Probably El Salvador got places like this. I heard El Salvador crime rate dropped drastically ever since they got like a new president. They put like all the gang members behind bars or whatnot. So I'm not, that's just according to what they're putting out to us to see. I don't know what's really going on. But supposedly it's one of the safest countries now ever since they like chopped down on the crime. But one thing I understood about the cartel, man, is that's one place that they're more in control than the government is. That's what it seemed like. Like they go to war. They be going to war, rah, 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 with the government, bro. And they be winning them joints. They got El Chapo. How El Chapo escaped prison in America? Holy shit. It's crazy, bro. Crazy. El Pirata. Yup. Yeah, that was... He wild out for that one. I think that was his name, right? El Pirata. The pirate dude. Yeah, little chubby baby face dude. Yeah, man. That dude was... He learned a lesson that he'll never really be able to apply to life. And that's don't allow drinking, get you too comfortable. And then there's a few people that, they thought that they could do the same thing. And they spare them, but at the same time, it's like, yo, y'all gonna get caught up with people that the government be fearing. You know what I'm saying? Don't get yourself involved in that. But now we got Cesar Chavez involved in the situation that's going on. I don't think he, I don't know if, this one thing I noticed about the system that they're gonna exaggerate everything. They exaggerate everything. They're gonna always exaggerate everything, bro. It's never like genuine. It's like they want to. So everything they say, like, let's take it back to here real quick. This is all the things they had to say, man. But everything they had to say here, bro. Do you really think all this really happened? Active arrest warrant in Mexico for what? For involvement in organized crime and trafficking firearms, ammunition, and explosives. I don't know, bro. For some reason, it just, to me, that's not so accurate. I feel like they over-exaggerated that idea. I feel like that's a little bit over-exaggerated at this point, bro. And I say that mainly for, one reason. He got money. You don't need to do this. You know what I'm saying? Unless they forced him, and he felt like he had to be forced. But they could damn near live anywhere they want in the world. They don't got to stay in the, you know what I'm saying? Why is that a situation? Like, why is that something that they have to deal with? That's my thing. That ain't never make no sense to me. It ain't never make no sense to me, bro. Okay, let me see how I can get this going. Oh, that's it right there. Okay. Bro, the cartel no joke. My boy left Mexico because they was after his pops. He joined the Marines, and I remember he called one day saying they took over his family property. They ran his fam out. You see what I'm saying? It hit different, bro. It hit a lot different. It hit a lot different, bro, when things are like that. I'll tell you that right now. it hit a lot different when shit is like that, bro. I'll be 100. When you go over there, a lot of these guys, you probably think like the saying they have when you in America, like, yo, put the guns down, like we could square up. Like, some of these guys are guys that probably never had to really throw a punch because they just was born in this type of lifestyle with guns. Like, what is fighting? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's fighting? As soon as I was born, they gave me a deuce. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these guys, they're not gonna ever waste their time. They're gonna come through, take over. That's what they know to do. I'll be honest, bro. That's one people you don't want to mess with. God bless them. You know what I'm saying? God bless all of them. I don't want no parts of that, son. They hit a little different when it comes to the cartel, man. When there's gangs in America America's a lot crazier than we think. The media of America tries to push it like it's the most positive place. But believe it or not, there's a lot of wicked ish that was going on in America for quite some time. The only difference is between America and other countries that America never really was successful, at least for a long period of time, in taking over the system. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if they go over and try to take my property, have my property, man. I don't even care, man. I got a big ass family. We go make it happen. We gon' work somewhere. One way or another, it's gonna work out for us. You know what I'm saying? Take it all. It's not worth my life, Shine. I ain't never been a sucker. But there's a difference between being smart and stupid. And I'd rather be smart. Yeah, I'm Shane. That's how life is. Ain't no lie, bro. They did my guy dirty though, man. They caught him slipping. You know what? I don't really have so much of a problem.
You do.
It's like mixed emotions. Like, I get it. I don't know why he wouldn't have a green card. You know what I'm saying? But I think the way they're going about this, one thing I don't respect is when they separate the families. I don't think you'll have to worry so much about that, Chavez. You know what I'm saying? They got their I'm sure they're wealthy, and his dad is wealthy. But I just don't like the whole idea of splitting families. I was never for that. Taking especially splitting the fathers up from their kids. The father's the provider and protector. You're basically destroying a family when you separate the father from the equation. Listen to that hitman who worked for Sinaloa cartel. After I heard him talk, I said I'm good on fucking with them. Yeah, bro. I would have fucked with them even after that shit. Yeah, I got it. And it's not that serious. My life, I can't dedicate my life to a lifestyle like that. Listen, I'm not a punk, but I don't want to be gangster like that, bro. I'll keep it 100. I don't want to be, I got kids. I just want to enjoy life. Can I live, please? Can I enjoy nature, motherfucker? Like, can I just enjoy nature? I just want to feel the breeze, hear the birds chirping. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I want to just raise my kids, my family. I don't want to do this, man. Y'all got it, man. I'll live like a gypsy. I don't give a fuck. I'll travel. I'll live in a car my whole life before I really get involved with that type of shit. But that shit is wicked. Damn, Jake done called ICE after he fights, so he ain't have to pay him. That would have been grimy. If he did that, that would have been grimy. But I don't think that's the case. In my opinion, I think because it was Mexico. It wasn't even ICE. It was Mexico that already had something on them. Mexico already had something on the bull. And then, but listen, don't get it twisted. You got the cartel Mexico. There's some crazy issue in Puerto Rico. There's places in Puerto Rico that the government don't go to either. You know what I'm saying? The system, they don't. You go to certain parts in the projects, that's why they say don't stop at stop signs. You know what I'm saying? That's something famous. Everybody knows that. Don't stop at stop signs. Don't stop at red lights. You just keep going. You know what I'm saying? You keep on going. I done seen some wicked videos, bro. I'm not going to say I've seen them with my eyes because thankfully when I go to Puerto Rico, my family, some of them lived in the trenches at certain points of, my life when I did visit. But good church people. So here and there you got a bad batch, you know what I'm saying? You got a dope head for uncle. Everybody got a dope head uncle, you know what I'm saying? A crackhead uncle. So you got to be careful because the motherfuckers be bringing some shit to the thing. You got to get up out of here, shot. Don't bring that energy over here. But, you know, the cartel is some other shit too, man. The courts separate men from families all the time. Yeah, man, it's wicked shit. Wicked. It's wicked. I want to raise my kids in a neighborhood without crackheads. Yeah, facts. That's why I had to get up out of where I lived at, bro. I had to get up out of that shit. A lot of people like to glorify. You know when somebody's really from the hood? When they don't glorify it. When they get happy, like, yo, I got my... Because there's people that still glorify the hood, but maybe they're not active fathers. Maybe they're deadbeat motherfuckers. Maybe they don't even got a family. Maybe they don't got nothing going on. Maybe they never really... But most of the times, they never really been in activity. There's people that have been in the streets, but there's people that never been in the activities of the streets. You know what I'm saying? There's hood ninjas, there's hood panas, and then you got street panas. The hood panas is just people that grew up around the street-ish. But the street panas is the people that actually got involved in the street. I was one of the street panas. I was there. I did everything that street dudes do. You know, stick up kids. You know. I'm not. You can't even say too much, but I done. Thank the Lord. You could check my paperwork. I never told a day in my life, but I was able to beat some cases, and I thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to practice your rights. Shut the fuck up. You'll be surprised how much trouble you can get out of when you shut the hell up. Damn, Chavez Jr. keep embarrassing the raza, man. I don't know, man. It's a little sad. It's sad, man. I don't know why he would get involved in that. But a lot of times I don't know. Maybe he came from a place where he wanted something to prove. He wanted to build his own identity. A lot of times that's what happens when you come from a successful place. You know, you're still trying to find your identity. You don't want to be known for or get success from something that your father knew and your father was successful at. Like, this my father. Yeah, I did that too. But let me find my own way. And maybe he found this, and I don't know. I don't even want to... Who knows? Maybe he was against his will. I don't know. I don't give a shit. That's on him. Why you stick up for the little kids? Why you stick up for the... What you mean, bro? Elaborate on that, Sean. You might have to elaborate on that. I don't know what you mean, Sean. I don't know what you mean. Elaborate. Yeah, remind me never to go on vacation to Mexico, bro. And it's crazy because I always wanted to go to Mexico because it looks beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And I thought, my opinion, I felt like some of the, you know, the cartels out there is genuine people, but they just don't take no bullshit. And if you give them a reason, they gonna take it to the sky. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I don't want to even find out. Just like Puerto Rico, going to certain projects in Puerto Rico, if I don't know nobody there, I ain't going. Even if I know somebody, I don't want to go. Why I want to go there for, bro? Didn't you just say a couple motherfuckers got bodied there? Oh, yo, you can come. They'll tell you, yo, come through, but make sure you strap. I don't want to go then. You know what? Plans are canceled, bro. If I got to bring a strap with me, I don't want to go, bro. I'll stay home, nigga. I'll stay home where I know it's safe and I'm chilling with my kids. We watching a movie, we laughing, we creating memories before God forbid, something happens to me. Not even before I pass away from old age. We're enjoying life. I don't want to go somewhere where I feel like I can't enjoy life, bro. That's the difference between motherfuckers that's from the streets and motherfuckers that just want to be from the streets. They want to like contribute towards the bullshit. And after you put in so much bullshit, for example, it's almost like you eat pancakes. Let's do it like this. You eat pancakes every day for like 2 years straight. Motherfucker, after a while, you're going to be like, you know what? I kind of just want to try something else. Let's do some eggs this time, man. We've been having this for 2 years straight. Yeah, let's take it a step further. 15 years. You know what I'm saying? 10 years. I'll say 10 years. The little man, I'll say 15 years. Just eating pancakes for 15 years straight. you're gonna be like, you know what? Damn, I kind of just want eggs right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of having pancakes every day for 15 years. I kind of want to have eggs now. That's how it is. Like, you're in the streets all day, every day. You're putting in crazy work. You know, you love, karma comes back. You're doing the same shit again, and the cycle repeats itself. After a while, you just like, you know what? I think I want to live a honest lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I think I just want to fall back now. I don't know. I think it sounds. I'm kind of tired of this dressing shit. I'm tired of the snakes. I'm tired of the harassment from police. I'm tired of backstabbers. I'm tired of hangovers, or I'm tired of. It's the same shit. You're just tired, man. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired of this bullshit. But motherfuckers that never been in the streets, they don't never get tired because they never had to deal with that shit. They don't care. Motherfuckers will glorify the street shit right now, still in the street-ish, not even getting involved in no activities, but just want to take credit for everybody else's work. But them and their families still in the hood. Like, bro, just get yourself out the hood. Me, about a good, I'll say like almost 10 years, I stopped being a street dude. I say, you know what? I gotta stop. I was since a kid, just being around, it starts with not being supervised. And then you in the street crazy, you grow up and you know what I'm saying? You start meeting people and you know what I'm saying? Shit get crazy. And then once I became a grown man, I still was involved, because that's the only thing There's a lifestyle. But then you meet the person that you end up having kids with, you marry them. And then life starts to be like, oh shit, there's more to. So you can actually enjoy life. So there's something you can enjoy from life. It's not all about stressing, and it's not all about, thinking that it's a good time doing the wrong shit. We could actually do something positive and enjoy it. Oh shit, I like this. And then, life changes, you know what I mean? But motherfuckers just love the street-ish. Bro, Vic's and the Cartel ain't no joke. Yeah, man. I don't know. You ain't even got to tell me. I know. I know, man. I don't. There's a difference between the gangs. The gangs. This is the difference, right? I'm gonna tell you like this. The gangs in America, they can't wait to tell you they're in gangs. They got a quote, gang, gang. I'm gang, gang. And they, you know what I'm saying? Cartel motherfuckers don't come in looking like a cowboy. They look like your grandfather. Some of them might look like your grandfather just chilling, drinking a coffee. Some of them might just look like they should be. Some of them look like they might have did landscaping before you don't. But they definitely not that. Some of them look like Abuelito, Tío. You know what I'm saying? But they not that. Them cartel members, they look like what people out here would call, the insults to make it seem like squares. They'll say like, oh, they're squares. No, motherfucker, they ain't not squares. Them motherfuckers will put circles through your chest. They not squares. Them motherfuckers will put circles through your chest and your forehead, nigga. Don't play with them niggas. This ain't blood, this ain't Crips, there ain't none of that. They don't care about throwing their sets up, bro. They're here to take over properties. They take your life and then take your property. They're not even worried. If you got nothing to offer, if you just a person in the corner, they don't give a shit about you. They try to see, oh, what government can we take over? That's how the gangs is in Mexico, bro. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Oh, what we doing beefing with these other niggas? They sagging. That's the thing about Americans and the gangs. A lot of gangs in America, they just want to look the image of gangs. They might do some gang shit. They might do some a lot crazy shit. They might be crazy as hell. But their main focus is to look the part. While these motherfuckers from these other countries, they actually organized. They actually have a system. They looking to really take some shit over. They not looking to waste. They're not here to no, they looking to be like, okay, you want to play with me? Go ahead. You're gonna go pick up your kids from school one day and realize that somebody already picked them niggas up. Then you're gonna be like, oh shit, now it's hit. You know what I'm saying? It hit different. You know what I mean? You thinking it's all cool. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Don't be playing with them. Imagine Ice gets Canelo after his fight. Crowd day. That would be. I won't knock it. Canelo's next. They gonna get Canelo's getting. We know Canelo got the bag. You know what I'm saying? Canelo get deported after being Crawford. That would be crazy, bro. Canelo Alvarez better knock out Crawford before Ice get him. He gotta get the knockout. They should have had it in Saudi Arabia. Tell Canelo, hit up Turki Al-Sheikh. Do that shit in Saudi Arabia, bro. Don't even. It's not even worth it, bro. Don't do New York. Don't do it in Vegas. Don't do it. Do it in Saudi Arabia, bro. Get out the way. Your days are numbered, motherfucker. In other words, your days they coming. Tired of the bullshit, no doubt. That's a fact, man. As Americans, we can't go to any country without paperwork to buy a house, get a job with invitation on their land. Yeah, man, it's a fact. Cartel, well trained, very educated, believe it or not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They organized. Them motherfuckers, they not stupid. I won't be. They might be cartel members that know how to fly planes. You know But you know why? What that I could respect about the cartel, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with the violence. They be ODing from the shits I be seeing. But for the most part, they stick together and they get the job done when they put their mind to something, they get it done. But for the most part, yeah, man. I done heard a lot of wicked ish about that. We Puerto Ricans are the number one per capita enlisted in Army and Marines. That's wild. Cops don't mess with the Mexican cartel. Yeah, man. Finally, I catch a live. Shout out to my guy, Canelo's Floyd Shun. He's damn near one of the day ones. Dude who said Matias will KO is cooked out of his mind. Yeah, dude who said Matias will get KO. Yeah, listen. I'm not saying that Matias will get knocked out. For the record, I'm not saying that Matias will get knocked out. What I am saying though, is that that's not a realistic prediction. We're talking about a fighter. We're talking about Puello. He does got knockouts, but he got knockouts against other Dominicans. Since when have you heard about, legendary fighters really coming out of Dominican Republic? There's some legends there. Shout out to Agapito Sanchez. He the one that gave Manny Pacquiao his draw. I consider him a legend. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking away from the greats that came out of DR. But in this current time, at least at the time of Puello's career, there's no greats in this division. You know what I'm saying? In DR, DR's not known in the boxing world like that. Right now, this is the biggest highlight of Dominican boxing, right? That's just the honest. So when he got the knockouts, those were against other Dominicans in DR. Still something to be proud about. You finished the job in spectacular fashion. But since then, my point is, he hasn't got a knockout. He's coming off of 2 split decisions, right? And you're saying that he's going to knock out Subriel Matias, a person that never been knocked down. Matias never been knocked down. A day in his life, he ain't never been knocked down in the boxing ring and as a professional boxer. He got a standing... Remember, standing. He got a standing 8 count before in his loss against Petro, which he avenged in spectacular fashion. But he ain't never been knocked down. Do you see what I'm saying? So for somebody that says that a person that don't get knockouts, that's not known as a knockout artist, and your prediction is that he's going to knock out Subriel Matias, and you're saying that, he got no defense, that's why. It's pretty evident you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's evident. Excuse me. You know, it gets blazing. I'm gonna fix that issue with the cam shit though, but it's pretty evident, bro, that you don't know what you're talking about. That's not a realistic prediction. Y'all just be making this up. Y'all just want to. I don't know if y'all just want to sound cool. I don't be knowing. Y'all just want to sound like y'all know what y'all talking about. It don't make no sense. My thing is, everybody says that Subriel Matias has no defense. Look what Leon Perro had to go through for his victory. Look what he had to go through. But Subriel Matias had no defense. If he had no defense, why didn't he get knocked out against Leon Perro? There's a big reason for that. Tomorrow, 4th of July. I don't care so much about 4th of July. You know what? I know a kid, rest in peace. He was holding a M80 in his hand. That shit popped right in his hand. Bam! Blew all his fingers off. And that's not even how he passed away. He actually got stabbed to death. Crazy work. Yeah, he got stabbed to death. But before he passed away, you know, when we was younger, motherfucker held the M80. Pow! Blew all his fingers off. More known in baseball. Yeah, shout out to DR. It's nothing to take shots from DR, but it's just me being 100 with their careers and how gone. If you're saying that he's gonna knock him out, you're better off saying that he's, you know, gonna box him. Like, if you want to say it in simpler terms, just say, yo, he's gonna outbox him. Even though I feel like there should still be some, you know, some points to back that up, but it's better than saying that he's gonna knock him out, because that shit don't make no sense. I find it funny that people think Matias will fight the same fight he fought against Perro without any changes. Yeah, man. I agree. Let me see. Hassan Rahman knocked Lennox Lewis. Nothing is written in boxing. Yeah. You never know what can happen. I got Matias winning by stoppage before the 8th. No, before the 6th round. I'm thinking more like 9th round. If you want me to be honest, I'm thinking more like 9th round. You know what I'm saying? Make sure to hit that like button. But I'm thinking more like 9th round only because I feel like Puello is a soldier. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's just gonna, and he has a good distance control. He's gonna be hurt in some rounds. I think the 5th round he's gonna get hurt, but he's gonna utilize his boxing abilities to control the distance and avoid, you know, getting finished. But then I think at the 9th round is gonna overall catch up to him, and he's gonna have to bite down and fight back, and that's when he's gonna start getting caught in between exchanges. That's my prediction. If the fight make it to the scorecard, I believe Matias lose. Yeah, and that's realistic. If he makes it to the scorecard, especially because he's not the champion, it's a good chance that he's definitely not gonna win. But I do have a theory. Not even a theory. I do believe he can win. It just makes it tough that Puello's a champion. But when he fought a boxer before, Subriel Matias, he finished the boxer in the 6th round, and he was whooping him every single round up to the 6th. So if he never knocked out that opponent that was a boxer, which is, what was his name again? I say his name all the time because I always use it as an example, but I can't think off the top of the head right now. But what I'm saying is, if they would have went to decision, he would have won by unanimous decision easy, probably every single round. So I do believe a decision can go in the favor of Subriel Matias. But let's just say that Puello is a way better boxer than any boxer that Subriel Matias faced, right? And he's able to really avoid exchanges on some William Skull shit. Then that's when I'll say okay. And when it comes to a decision, it's a big is a good chance that it will go to the favor of Puello. How is Puello chin or body? I think Puello, I can't knock him, bro. I think he's a warrior, bro. I think he's one of them warriors. I give Puello his credit. I really think he's one of the warriors. I just feel like he haven't been tested like a good test. People keep using Gary Antoine Russell, and I get it. He is the best example you could use for a pressure fighter. But Gary is more of a boxer puncher. You know what I'm saying? So Gary being a boxer puncher, that means he's looking to control the distance, as he's kind of closing it. He'll put some aggressiveness, but you can see him more or less trying to control the distance. He'll back away. He'll try to still do things that will allow Alberto Puello to capitalize off. But then you got Subriel Matias, who he's not looking to control the distance. He's looking to close the distance, in which he fights great on the inside. But he also has a half-inch more reach than Alberto Puello. And he's shorter. That means that if he utilizes his aggression the right way, he will get a lot of success fighting on the inside while still catching Alberto Puello on the back foot because he has more reach than Alberto Puello. Not nothing crazy, but wherever Alberto Puello lands, so can Subriel Matias, is what I'm saying. A lot of people are overlooking that. So this is realistic predictions compared to people just saying he's going to outbox Matias. That sounds good. Remember, he did outbox Gary Antoine Russell, but Gary Antoine Russell is a boxer puncher that looks more to control the distance as he closes it. And he doesn't have longer reach. So he has a lot more shorter reach than Puello. Even that's not the best example when we're looking. So Hawkins is the name I'm thinking about. Hawkins, when Subriel Matias fought Hawkins, he destroyed him, winning every round up until he knocked him out in the 6th round. Hawkins has more reach and height than Alberto Puello. And Hawkins was a fine boxer, was undefeated 18-0, and was considered to be one of the next ones coming up in that Mayweather gym, the money team. After that fight, he never been the same. He then went to go on and fight Hitchens, which, people thought it was pretty competitive. He ended up losing against Hitchens to a unanimous decision and never returned back. And imagine if he never fought Subriel Matias and fought Hitchens first. He probably could have beat Hitchens. But Subriel did something to his career to make him never return. And I think that his last fight with Hitchens took place, 2022? And, we haven't heard of him since. As a Puerto Rican, 4th of July is important because we got the July 25th in Puerto Rico. I feel you. This is why we are full American. Malaza, shout out Malaza. He really loves this. That's one American motherfucker right there. I love America too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't. I love America too. I don't even want to get into the politics, but shout out. God bless America. God bless America. Is Matias training with people that might be similar to Puello? You know what's funny? That's a great question. That's a great question, bro. Oh my God, that's a great question, bro. You know why that's a great question? Because you damn near doing brujeria right now. That's the same thing I was thinking earlier today. The shit you just said right now, I was thinking that earlier today, bro. I was wondering, who is he training with? Is he just relying on his hard work and dedication to get and just stick to what he already knows to beat Puello? I don't know. I'm not sure. It's hard to find somebody with that type of style, but especially a Puerto Rican, there's not a lot of tall Puerto Ricans and shit, but that's a great question. You read my mind. You're doing some brujeria, bro, because I was thinking that earlier, I wonder who Subriel is using to try, to mimic him, to in sparring and whatnot. I haven't seen no sparring footage. Nothing's been released with sparring yet. Maybe that's something they just keep it in the cut. I hope that they are doing this though. They're picking the right people to get the job done. But that's a good question, bro, because I had that same exact question. Who can he be training with and sparring with? I'm not too sure yet though. I'll be honest. I don't see Alberto Puello with the stamina Matias trained. Yeah. All right. Matias training with top level sparring partner Southpaw. I hope so. Paul and his brother are big Donald Trump supporters. This is just politics. That could be a good point right there. You might be on to something with that one. Because they is low-key like some, you know what I'm saying, politician type motherfuckers. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty wicked, man. It's unfortunate that...
You do have one section? I have gloves on if you want me to. ¿No tienes algo sus zapatos?
No,
¿Cosidos?
nada.
No tienes.
Any news about his new trainer will do better than Panda? His new trainer is not his new trainer. His new trainer has been there. His new trainer, just put it this way. And I'm not saying this could mean anything, right? There's a lot of that's another good question. There's a lot of pros and cons when we think about Coach Panda. And I'm not saying pros and cons, but let me say positive and negative perspectives that I feel hold no facts yet for us to really know what's going on. And so here's how I'll say it. And so you could get a better understanding of what I mean. Sabril Matias was with Panda when he lost to Leon Perro. I'm not blaming Panda for it. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not blaming Panda for it. After not being with Panda for 2 fights straight, he ends up getting knockout victories to secure himself back into title contention, where he became the mandatory for the IBF, and then the WBC title against, Alberto Puello kind of came out of nowhere. It was a surprise. So what I'll say is that I feel, if you want me to be honest, me being completely honest, I feel much more comfortable. And y'all remember I said this a while back. This is funny. Sabril has a great relationship with Panda, but I think that Sabril can't be his best with Panda because it's a Zepeda. And I said this a while back, and this is just my opinion. There's no facts to what I'm saying. But I said before, I don't see how, Sabril could be his very best, because I truly believe that the main attention is going towards Zepeda, where, Panda is splitting his attention, but giving the main attention to his fighter Zepeda, and then, and after Zepeda, that's where he'll be like, okay, let's work on some tools with, Sabril Matias. Panda always brings up, if he listens, he's unstoppable. If he listens to the corner, he's unstoppable. But I feel like Panda should start taking accountability too. You shouldn't just say he wasn't listening. There had to be something along those lines where a Panda has to take some accountability. And I feel like they say he was distracted. That's cool. He was distracted in Puerto Rico. He came back, had the crowd with him. But he then came back and performed in Puerto Rico 2 times in a row after that. He was training in Puerto Rico for both of those fights after Panda. And he secured knockout victories with both of those fights in spectacular fashion. So what's really going on, right? This is where I believe, Coach Panda, its main focus was really Zepeda. And I feel like when Sabril came to Puerto Rico, he was the main focus. A side of me starts to believe that it wasn't so much about distraction. It was more about the attention he was receiving to really better his skill. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they had a bad relationship. I believe they had a great relationship. I believe Panda and Sabril Matias they have a brotherhood type of relationship. But I also believe, look at me sound like Martin Luther King. I believe. But I also believe that Sabril Matias wasn't the main character at that gym in Mexico, right? So that being said, and this is where it kind of proves my point a little more. I'm not saying that it's facts yet, though. But they say the reason why Zepeda isn't training Sabril Matias now in this camp is because he's focused on Zepeda right now. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm talking about, bro? If that is true, that Coach Panda didn't train Subriel Matias because he's focused on Zepeda, then why wasn't it the same the other way around? Why wasn't he not training Zepeda so he could fully focus on Subriel Matias, who's defending his title? Subriel Matias made Coach Panda's first champion was Subriel Matias. Why didn't he put his full focus on Subriel Matias? But Zepeda don't even got a title or is even fighting for one right now. Or he is actually against Shakur, excuse me. He's fighting against Shakur for a title. But why is it that now he's fighting for a title, he wants to block out Subriel Matias? Do you see what I'm saying? And that's what I mean. It goes all back to what I said before the fight even started. I said, I'm starting to feel like Subriel Matias is not getting the main attention in that gym. And he's the one defending his title. He should be the main attraction. I feel like Zepeda is kind of more or less, you know, the focus might just be more there. Nothing wrong with it, but it is when you have a champion, your first champion, defending his title against an undefeated fighter like Leon Perro. So aside of me does feel like, yeah, maybe there was distractions, but when you look at the logic of the situation, oh, it's because he was at his hometown. Oh, it's because he was with his peoples. You know, he was partying and this, that, and third. Then why hasn't that happened in his last two fights? Why hasn't that happened in his last two fights? He trained and fought in Puerto Rico and won in spectacular fashion. But when he trains with Panda in Mexico, we get results like we've seen against Leon Perro. And Panda says if he listens, he'll win every time. But where's the accountability with him? Because it seems like he's winning just fine without him. And before Panda, he was undefeated. So, yeah, that's my opinion, man. That's definitely my opinion. Make sure to hit that like button on your win. Don't be on your way in. Don't be a hater. Be a congratulator. Be a participator, man. Matias' new trainer is his third generation boxing trainer. Yeah, man. It's not really his new trainer. It's his, you know, the guy dude that been there since day one type shit. Pena had the two defeat of Gonzalez, Subriel Matias because don't know how to adjust. The same with Cameron Zepeda and First Farmer. Look at that. That's good news. Two of his fighters lost. But Zepeda wins. There's a cycle going on that I don't think we're catching, bro. Two of Panda's fighters lost, but Zepeda wins. I'm starting to think that there's just there's a certain type of attention that Zepeda's getting, a treatment that he's getting before anybody else when it comes to training. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not saying that Coach Payne is a bad trainer. Of course, boxers got to take partial accountability too. But the trainer, if there's a repeated cycle going on, then maybe it's not the fighter all the time. Maybe it might be Coach Panda, bro. And I like Coach Panda. He was my favorite coach. My favorite coach right now is Coach Mark, Berlanga's coach. I think he's a great trainer. I think he's a great coach. You know, I think he started with more or less strength and conditioning, but he adds a lot of psychology behind his training. So that's why I like him. And I like Coach Panda because I feel like what he did was great, taking Matias to Mexico, keeping him focused. I seen what they did behind the scenes. But then I started getting little vibes that, you know, maybe he's just not getting the full attention that he deserves right now. Well, not that he deserves that, but that he needs to prepare himself 100%. I forgot other Puerto Rican with who lost the IBF in Japan with Panda. Look at that. Is there a cycle taking place with Panda? There seems to be a cycle that we're not talking about. Panda doesn't seem to be the serious one. A good mentor has some aggression and doesn't let the fighter do what he wants. Yeah, man. I mean, I just feel like Panda was... I don't think Panda's... That's not what I think. You can only do so much when you're trying to, like, you can't force a fighter to do certain things, right? But I just feel like it's not that I feel like, I'm just looking at the cycle that's being made. A Puerto Rican, one of his Puerto Rican fighters loses in Japan. He has another fighter that loses in America. He has Matias that loses as well. Zepeda's been on the road still, right? He's has controversial victories over Farmer, and I said this a while back, and now he didn't want to train Sabril because he wants to really stay locked in with Zepeda. Two things, right? One is what I've been saying was absolutely right, and now it's came to the light. Or two, maybe he's seen where he's going wrong, and he sees that his attention going to so many different places is causing some of his fighters not to give their best performances. So now he realizes that and saying, I got to focus on this. But if that's not the case, that means this whole time he was really just focused on Zepeda. I would like to have Coach Panda on here because I'm still a fan of Coach Panda. But to get some clarification, because we don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why I hit that like button. We almost at 10K. Make sure to subscribe. We like a couple likes from 10K. Couple subs. Subscribe. Sub. We need subs. I'm about to start doing some backflips in this motherfucker, so y'all can sub my shit. We gotta keep. I haven't gone live in a minute too, man. My live's been like low key acting weird and shit. So now I'm really trying to stay consistent. How y'all like this backdrop too, man? Like I try to touch it up. I want it to look more cinematic. I felt like what I wanted to do is get in touch back into my roots of creating. When I started, I was more passionate about it. I felt, not saying that I got lazy with the content, because I don't get lazy. I'm the most prolific. I'm the most prolific channel on YouTube when it comes to boxing. I'm the most prolific. I'm consistent with the drops. I drop so many at a time, and this shit is fire, right? Great quality stuff. But I feel that nowadays I could do. I feel like nowadays I could. When I first started, my shit was kind of trash. When I first started, I started learning, and I got into a place where I was like, okay, this is the look I want, and this is what it is right here. This is the look that I, got to a place where I was like, I love it. But me, I'm the type of person that's like, I always need to change something, and sometimes you could allow other people that might be getting success to influence how you might switch things up with what you got going on. But don't do it, because what's working for you is working for you. Their success is not your success. There's some times where I battle with my own mind and be like, I got to approach this a certain type of way. I got to be a little bit more professional because this motherfucker's lacking in interviews and this motherfucker over here is just getting more. But it's like, no, I got to remember I've been here for 1 year and I already got 4 times the amount of subscribers than a lot of these motherfuckers do. You know what I'm saying? Me doing me and being me is what's making that happen. Because if I was being them, I probably would have still been stuck at 1K. But in my first month, I got that 1K. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there was a certain stage I was plateau a little bit. But now, I'm going to make sure that I get back to that one route where I had like my look. And this is basically partial of my look. You know what I'm saying? Drop a thumb in the comment section. Don't be a hater. Be a participator. Be a congratulator. You already know what's up. And I'm bringing the buttons back out. I got them right here. But I still got to... I got to re-enter all my buttons in. You know what I'm saying? I am watching a history movie with Independent War. I love history. I know you over here talking about 4th of July. Yeah, us the American. I love it, bro. I love it. Keep doing your thing, man. I love history too. But what I like to do is unlearn everything I already learned and try to research and find my own way through this ish. Because there's a lot of shit that I noticed, like when I go learn something, bro, I'll learn something and then realize that there's a lot more to that story than what they taught us. So I try to okay, I don't completely unlearn, but I keep it in mind. Okay, this is what they taught me in school, but this is what I know through this source. This is what I know through this source. This is what I know through this source. What makes the most sense? Perfect. You know what I'm saying? God bless you, bro. Okay, you responding to the other. Berlanga, Matias, Shakur, Morel, These are the fighters, but that must win. If not, it's a problem in terms of the attention they get in opportunity, especially for Shakur. If Shakur lose, the only thing that's keeping Shakur relevant is him winning his fights. If he loses, you could start catching him on the prelims to these fights, or he's gonna main event in the black joint. What's that called? Black I don't know, something black is the promotion. He gonna start perform. You know what I'm saying? Not that there's anything wrong, but it's not up there. So my thing is, Shakur needs to win. The only thing that's keeping Shakur relevant at this moment is him winning. You know, Subriel Matias lost twice. He's still relevant. You know what I'm saying? There's fighters that Ryan Garcia lost against Tank, still was relevant. Rolly lost, still was relevant. You know what I'm saying? There's fighters that they lose, but they still remain relevant. Shakur loses, he will no longer be relevant no more, bro. And I hate to say it, but it's just he don't have the exciting style. So he must win. Or he has to start, he lacks killer instinct. So he either has to really engage with and get in tune with his killer instinct, or he's going to have to just make sure he wins all the time, because if he loses, you could lose and have a killer instinct and still become relevant and still get booked for fights. But if you lose with a boring fight, it's a wrap. Look at Skull. We ain't going to hear from Skull ever again. But who else you said? Berlanga. Yeah, Berlanga must win because he just talks a lot. And it's not saying that he talks a lot of bullshit. I believe him. You know what I'm saying? I believe what he says. But I do believe that if he loses, it just don't age well. He's gonna be a meme for a long time. When it comes to Morrell, honestly, I think Morrell could lose. I'm not gonna lie. And it's not because he's so famous or whatnot. It's because he's not that big. So if he loses, a lot of people are not even gonna remember it. I'm like, well, we didn't know him like that when that happened. You know what I'm saying? And he could come back, win by a spectacular knockout, and it's like, okay, oh shit, oh, he lost to this guy, because he's not that well known yet. It's okay to lose when you're not that known yet. He's not that popular yet. Morrell, he's on there, he's fighting at a high level, but he's not ringing bells. So I think he's one of those fighters that if he loses, he'll still make a way back. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I think he'll still get, he'll still have the opportunity to build a decent fan base. And Matias, if Matias loses, I believe the IBF already made the eliminator. I think they already did a IBF eliminator with Leon Perro and what's his name? Is it Delgado? Lindolfo, something like that. Lindolfo Delgado. I forgot his name. Mexican boy. He could box his ass off. He just beat the Dominican cat Rodriguez. They're fighting for the main joint right now. All for the mandatory. So that being said, I think he lost his mandatory position. So if he loses this fight, and I think that happened because the WBC made obligations of them having to defend against the winner of Pitbull and Fierro. That being said, yeah, man, it's pretty much he needs to win this. He might still be able to, if Subriel Matias loses in a crazy war, I think they'll still make a mandatory. And they'll just have the winner between Delgado and Leon Perro to be the runner-up. You know what I'm saying? But if he loses like in a easy masterclass by Puello, then I do believe is gonna like that the hype is gonna go down. I keep it real. I'm still be a fan because I love I love the Warriors. But I'm gonna be transparent like I always am. Somebody said, "Oh, you better not hide." Motherfucker, I can't hide. I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I have Subriel Matias winning because I'm bringing out logic according to the history with my predictions. Other than that, if he loses, yeah, I'm like, damn, it's gonna suck, right? But I'm not gonna come here and lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna come here if I feel like he didn't get robbed. I'm not gonna say he got robbed. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy. Yo, mi gente. That's my guy. Make sure to check him out, man. My guy Artie. Make sure to check out Art of Boxing. Check out his channel too, man. He gonna have something coming soon. Make sure to check him out. Toma. Black Prime. There you go. Black Prime. Don't even got their lights together. Yeah, man. And shout out to them. You got to start somewhere. So the fact that, you know, they're getting, you know, I would say cosigns from the Haneys and some other, you know what I'm saying? And some people performed. I think Bud Crawford even performed there before. But at the end of the day, if you want us to be completely honest, you know, they're not obviously on the level of, you know, Matchroom, on the level of Top Rank, on the level of Queensberry, on the level of PBC, you know, the list goes on with the top promotions, man. They're not quite there yet. Fighters with an exciting style always be relevant. Esau Pitbull Cruz can lose 11 times, and people will still, yeah, look. Esau lost to Tank, and then he lost to Rayo. And guess what? This fight between him and Fierro is anticipating as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't stand when people bring up like Amanda Serrano losing as they lost, or even Sabrina Matias of him losing. It's like, bro, these are fighters that's gonna have, no matter what, they're gonna have a stable lifestyle in their careers, because people are always gonna want to watch their type of fights, as long as we're able to build that type of audience for them, because that's what we do here. We promote the Warriors. Morrell can lose, but Cubans will not F with him. When he lost to Benavidez, it was reasonable. Yeah, true. See, I don't know. I don't know how the culture is as far as the support system in Cuba. You know what I'm saying? I know Puerto Ricans go hard. If you lose, it's like, damn. Puerto Ricans will fuck around and crucify you. You know what I'm saying? But if you win, if you lose with some heart, it's not as bad. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Shout out to the Art of Boxing for you. For the 5 right one time. He says Berlanga has to watch out that Ali Sheik don't go and give instructions to Shamaz. Yeah. We all seen that ish. We all seen that happen. When he did that and he gave Shiraz he exposed the scorecards, that was sick. That was sick, bro. That was sick work. Lindolfo Delgado. Yup, Lindolfo. And the news, shout out to me, gente. Make sure to hit that like button for your boy. Make sure to hit that like. Sub. We almost at 10K. Make sure to hit that sub. Make sure to like. Make sure that this makes its round around the YouTube, man. You got to make sure, man. Yeah, bro. It hit different when you got Chavez getting hit with some shit. Yeah, man. Not gonna lie, Chavez low-key gives off, like, you know, cartel vibes in a sense. You know what I'm saying? He does give off like he done been around the block a couple times. You know what I'm saying? He looks like one of those guys that even though they came up with their pops and all that, they actually, you know, it's rare to run across those type of individuals where they actually, like, outdid the real gangsters and shit. He might be one of them ones. He might be. Shiraz hasn't fought anyone close to his height. I believe Berlanga the closest and strongest. I think Berlanga, if you want me to be honest, man, I believe Berlanga is gonna knock his ass out in the first round. Shiraz is acting like he's fighting a nobody right now, bro, and he's saying that Canelo Alvarez, like he ran against Canelo Alvarez the whole 12 rounds. And it makes me wonder, like, then what did you do against Adames? What is that? That means you fucking flew away. You know what I'm saying? If Berlanga was running against Canelo, then that means you were flying against motherfucking Adames. Which makes no sense, bro. That's why it's hard for me to take him. Like, he's talking too much. And at least Berlanga, he's talking a lot of shit too, but he's letting it be known that, yo, I'm taking him serious. He's my Canelo right now. I see him as Canelo right now. So that means he's training just as hard as he did with Canelo with Shiraz. And when we see Shiraz, I just feel like Shiraz is on some soft shit, man. It just seems like he thinks he's going through a walk of the park. I don't know, man. I don't like Shiraz. I read through the bullshit, man. Yeah, they definitely want that cash. Puello lo van a noquear. So you're saying that you think Puello's going to knock out... You're saying that Puello's going to knock out Matias? If that's the case, I don't know how that makes any type of sense, bro. You're going to have to break it down and why. And please don't say no defense, because it just don't make sense. Chavez Jr. seems like a cool dude. Yeah, man. I think he's not the best boxer. Oh, you said no. Oh, so you... Excuse me. You're saying that Puello's going to get knocked out. Excuse me. But Chavez Jr. seems like a good dude. Random, but reminds me of John Jones, but more high thing. Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I think when it comes to boxing, it's unfortunate that he has a father like he does. That's a legend, and it's hard. Like you're known to be living in the shadow. So no matter how much success you think you might have, or whatever the case is, people are always gonna compare your success to your father's. So when you're not as good as your father, you're always gonna be looked at as that. You'll never be as good as your father. You know what I'm saying? That's how. So it's unfortunate that he's in that situation, because when he was a world champion, he was a decent dude, man. He was a decent fighter. I'll keep it 100. But people held him on the standard of his father, which is kind of unfair, man, and is unfortunate. But like, I agree, man. I think Chavez Jr. is a decent dude. It's just, you know, he got held to the standard of the standard of his father. I think Shiraz wants to tire Berlanga and then put everything on him. I believe Berlanga, he's good. I think Berlanga has a good gas tank, bro. He's gonna try to wear him out, and he's not gonna understand that Berlanga is just gonna beat him. He's gonna if Berlanga makes sure he's focused, Berlanga's gonna tear his ass apart, bro. He's not even... Shiraz is not even... I'm gonna call him sure ass, because he's sure as ass, bro. He's gonna think that he's gonna go in there and do this stupid ass 1-2. Oh, I'm gonna just... the left. He don't even sound confident when he says it. That the left and then the right straight is gonna come. Yep, I'm gonna get him right there. And it's like, no, motherfucker, you're just saying that because if you do land it, you want to make sure you have something documented saying that you was gonna land that, and then be a viral moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, like, bro, it's trash. You're not even sounding confident. You're sounding like, and you're overlooking it. I know a motherfucker joke when I see one. Shiraz is a joke, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100. He's a pure joke. And and it's not even that I'm a fan of Berlanga or not. Berlanga be doing some whack ass, corny, jokey shit too, and I called it out for it on this channel. But Shiraz is one of them guys that tries so hard to carry himself like a gentleman, and then you seen how Berlanga kind of slowly wheels him into the trash talk, and then he starts talking a whole bunch of dumb nonsense shit. You know what I'm saying? And then starts exposing himself like, okay, now I get what you're saying. Now he's not who I thought he really was. You know what I'm saying? I prefer the person that's going to expose themselves for who they are off the rip. Just let it be known. Like, okay, that's how you is, then that's how you is. But don't act like a gentleman to say some bullshit and then expect us to believe it. Then he's saying, oh, he knows when we're in the face-off, he knows. He put his hand in your face in the form of a gun sign. What does he know? You had your hands in your pockets. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having your hands in your pockets, but when you say stuff like, "Oh, he knows," what you mean he knows? You didn't give any type of, action to make anybody believe that they should know anything intimidating about you. I'm not talking smack. He had asked Matias for help with sparring, and Matias told him, if you can't hurt Crawford, it's going to knock you out. And that's what happens. And Matias sparred with yeah. Everybody was saying that in the comments too, that he had knocked him down and shit. Sobril va a noquear a Puello. Okay. And amateurs, okay. I hope this won't happen, but this came into my head recently. Someone in boxing will die because of mental health issues, and it will be a huge thing. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's bound to happen eventually. I think it happens, and I think it's gonna come from the people that want to be so famous. Somebody that passes away from boxing, I truly believe is gonna be someone that is really trying to be so famous and wants the same type of success someone else got. And since they're not getting it, it's going to mess with them mentally because they think they're doing everything that person is doing, if not better. That's what they're going to think. I think a lot of times fighters that, go through mental health in the sport of boxing is a lot of fighters that don't really fully mentally commit themselves to boxing. There's fighters that are more into fame than supporting their families. And that's where you go wrong. Go do your job. That's how you got to see it. Do your job. But to these motherfuckers, a lot of these motherfuckers, they take it as a race to being famous. Let's see who could win the race to being the most famous. And when they don't get there and they see somebody else have it, they start going through that mental health bullshit. Like, bro, stay off the media, focus on you, support your families, feed them, and your job is done. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? You'll be labeled as a great father, a great husband, whatever the case is. But a lot of these niggas want to be, the most famous dude, the guy that cashes out the most in the club. And when they don't get that, the mental health shit comes in. A lot of people, Ryan Garcia was dealing with a lot of mental health. But it's like, bro, you did and said a lot of bullshit. Nobody's perfect. But just because you're not getting the attention that you was getting before, don't hit us with that mental health bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you is. We all men at the end of the day. I know mental health is a real thing. It's a real thing. But understand that there's always somebody going through a lot worse than you is, and that is the happiest person in the world right now. So don't compare yourself to the people doing better than you. Compare yourself to those that are less fortunate. Toma. Shiraz was crying to Al-Sheikh because of the change of the ring size that he needed to move. Yeah, I bet you any money that's what happened. I agree. I think that's exactly what happened. I don't know if there's proof. If there is, I'll definitely be talking about it. Berlanga also recognized Adames was doing some bullshit in the fight. Yeah, yep. Exactly. Nothing wrong wanting some fame, but it's there. Yeah, there's limits. Exactly. There's limits to this shit. There's limits, but that's why these motherfuckers they go through mental shit. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that mental bullshit, man. We all go through mental shit, man. And that's the problem. Everybody, we all go through it. A lot of these boxers are getting paid mad bread, right? They getting paid mad money. Talking about mental illness. And one of their fans probably just spent their last savings to watch him fight. Do you see what I'm saying? You talking about you getting paid multi-millions. And one of your fans that is struggling to support his family and got some leftover money decided to want to buy your pay-per-view to watch you fight. and you complain about mental health, nigga, get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? We all go through shit. We all got mental health. I go through mental health stuff too. I'm not gonna lie. We all go through it, but I guarantee if I was a millionaire, bro, I won't be going through no mental illness shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the benefit of coming from the bottom too, because you dealt with all the snake shit already in the streets. You already know what's up. I know when you become a millionaire, people are gonna come and act like they know you, be cool. You're gonna feel like everybody's just after you for the bread. Fuck that. Stick with the people that you already started with. I already got my family. I'm good. My goal is to build this. You know, I already got a plan. Plans are in place. I'm putting in the work for that plan already. You know what I'm saying? So when it does arrive, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. I want to do this. I want to do this. And all of this is to make sure I continue building this generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have some off days. I'm going to have some good days. But comparing myself to where I was a few years back, you know, I'm great. I'll be grateful. Some people go through mental illness a lot of times because they can't find gratitude. And they allow society to dictate and determine their struggle. That's how we get down here, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear none of that. We all go through things. Guess what? When a lot of us from the bottom go through things, we still gotta pay bills. We still got a job to do to keep a roof over our head. So we gotta stay. I got mental health, but I can't do shit about it. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers got mental health and they could take a break. Oh, I'm going through mental health. Motherfucker, you got money to take a break. Go take a cruise. Go take a jet to the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? And take a break. You could do that. But there's a lot of motherfuckers in our shoes that we can't do that. We go through mental health for real, and guess what we do? We stay mentally strong because we still got a job to do. We don't got time or the money to just be like, yo, let's go. We going to the Bahamas, we're gonna take a break. Motherfucker, I got 6 kids. I'll be damned if I gotta hear about somebody else's mental health, son. I give a fuck about your mental health. Nigga, I'm mentally insane. I could be rich and still go through mental shit because these kids, I don't get no sleep. Look at my eyes, nigga. Bags like crazy. I don't get sleep. What's that? What's sleep? You know what I'm saying? You talking about millionaires having mental health issues? Fuck that mental health issues, nigga. I don't give a fuck about their mental health issues. Fuck your mental health. I really don't give a fuck about your mental health. I'll be 100. I don't care about their mental health at all. Fuck your mental health. Nigga. You got access and ways to, you know, that could put ease to your mental health. Motherfuckers that come from where I come from, the shit just keep adding up and adding up and adding up, and it's not something over here, something over here, something over here. There's one day my day was just going crazy, bro. I had an effed up day already. Bills on this side. My daughter breaks her leg. Now I gotta go to the hospital. I felt like I was having a heart attack. Now I gotta go. It gets crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? It gets wicked. But I don't have millions of dollars to just be like, okay, let's just all take a break, a brain break. Let's go out. Let's just enjoy, you know, the world as it is. And you know, let's no, motherfucker. We don't got time to take no breaks. But I got to hear about a famous millionaire boxer having some type of thing. Like, motherfucker, if your wife was getting banged by black dudes, then pick a better woman next time. You know what I'm saying? Pick a better woman next time, bro. Yeah, man. Like, pick somebody. If you can't find the woman in your life, if you're the woman that you thought was wifey type, but you met her at a Diddy party, then you hold yourself accountable, motherfucker. At least you got the bread to, you know, try to help your situation out. Hold yourself accountable. You earned it. But I ain't trying to hear none of that shit, bro. They could all go to hell. I don't give a shit. Go to hell, motherfucker, with your mental issues. And I want y'all to say the same about me when I get whatever I. Nah, I ain't trying to hear about your mental issues. But I hear you. I feel you, because I'm grateful. I'm blessed because I'm grateful about the blessings that I have, bro. And I feel like the blessings keep coming. I'm gonna have off days. I have my off days, and when I have my off days, I understand that nobody really gives a fuck, bro. When you at the bottom, when you come from the bottom, nobody gives a shit. So why give a shit about motherfuckers that are at the top of their success? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. God bless them. And I hope that they're safe. But whining like a baby for that mental health shit, go to hell with that shit. Finances play a part into mental health, but finding a solution is the most important. That mental peace, everything. It's the key to mental health, bro, is gratitude. That's the key to defeating mental health. It's blocking the whole world, secluding yourself from the whole world. Everything from society. Unlearn everything you thought you learned. Block everything. Be grateful for what you have right there and then. Be grateful. Find gratitude somewhere. And when you have $1 million, it's easier to find motherfucking gratitude. That's what's the problem. These motherfuckers never came from a place where they can utilize money as a way to feel actually grateful about. Because they feel like, oh, I could always buy my way out of something. Yeah. So be grateful for that shit, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because you might be dealing with the same mental health issues without any type of money whatsoever to make you feel grateful about. I ain't trying to hear about none of that shit. Yeah, you got this money. Now utilize that money to take a vacation, free your mind. You got the opportunity to block yourself from society. While motherfuckers are still stuck in society and gotta be reminded for what gave them mental health to begin with on a daily basis. Throw your phone away, nigga. You know what I'm saying? While you on Twitter, throw your phone away. You know, fix yourself. Focus on you. Love yourself, then love everybody else. And I'm not saying I go through, like I said, I go through my mental illness too. But I realized when nobody gave an issue about my shit, why in the world would I care about anybody else's? If you, God forbid, something happened, you own man, bro. You are your own man. I don't care how harsh that sounds, but reality is reality. That's what it is. You gotta find something to be grateful about. What Papa Canelo doing sitting by himself? Canelo. Yeah, that's my guy. Nah, that's a different conversation. Shout out Canelo. But better to start from the bottom and grow than to start from the top and try coke, because that's the closest solution you got. Yeah, it is better to start from the bottom, because when you're at the top, it's a little difficult. But even when you're at the top, it's about the guidance that you're getting. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be there to guide you? And it's like, for example, I'm already teaching my kids this stuff, because I in my head, I'm the most richest and famous motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I teach my kids this. They low key don't know what struggle is, because I don't put them onto that. I don't teach my kids struggle. I teach them to use their imagination to be whatever they want, not for fake shit. Don't use your imagination to believe in Santa Claus. Nah. Use your imagination to be whatever you want to be, not fake shit that's not going to benefit you. Fuck Santa Claus. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, I allow my kids to think that everything is fine and dandy, but I break down reality to them. You know, this is what life comes with, you know? So you got to stay focused, you know what I'm saying? There's going to be people like this. There's going to be boys like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, we take a walk outside for some rest. Exactly. Sometimes we don't got it. We can't take vacations. We got to take a walk. Not everybody had it, you know. Coming from the bottom, there's benefits from that, because you understand, like, okay, these are things to be grateful about. Now, when you're born with money, it's a little different. But at what age in your life, you know, once you become an adult and you have to let that click in your mind. What it is motherfuckers be too selfish about their own situation. That's all it is. When motherfuckers still stressing when they was born with money and all this, it comes to a certain point where you got to hold yourself accountable and say, yo, I'm 20 something years old. I'm 30 years old, and I'm still dealing with mental health issues because of, you know, I never went through a real problem because I've been through this and that. Okay, you understand that. So now make a move on it, motherfucker. Like, now you gotta train yourself. You're an adult now. You're able to use your brain. You know, there's people that got so much money. What they do to feel better, they help out communities. They donate stuff. They do stuff for other people. And they find something that's gonna make them feel grateful, remind them of how blessed they is. But motherfuckers still competing with other people. That's why they stressed out. They got so much money, and they wonder why somebody that might be less fortunate getting more recognition and respect than they are, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself. Nah, motherfucker, I don't give a shit. Toma! Shout out my guy. You have to be grateful for just waking up in the morning. Facts. And going to work. There are people worse than us right now doing worse, and they're grateful every day. They open their eyes. Yeah, that's how I try to do it. Always think, like, listen, I go through my stuff, and I talk about it on my channel sometimes too. I go through my stuff, but I really just, it is what it is. I find stuff to be grateful about, and I understand that others wish they had what I had at this moment, and I keep grinding. Sometimes I feel like I deserve more than what I did, than what I worked for. But it is what it is. When you get so much, you know, when you age and you start to go through this so much and realize that nothing changes when you think like that, then you got to shut the fuck up and just keep doing what you're doing. Vic, we in war mode, puñeta. Warriors, come on and play. Toma. That's a fact, bro. It's war month. It's about to be war week, and I got the drums right here. It's about to be war week, man. You know how I get down. I had to go back to the roots of my setup. I said, you know what? I'm tired of this low-key, me trying to be professional setup. I'm going to bring it back to the, I would say not the very beginning, because I wasn't, my setup was trash. My quality was low-key trash, but I kept working on it, and I got to this comfort type of, we going to hit them where it hurts now. We going to go hard, man. Pause. You know what it is? That they see people doing worse, and they're happy that it is being grateful. If Floyd, Tank, and other great fighters were born rich, they wouldn't come this far. I agree, right? Now, what I will say is that I don't think that they were rich. I think there was just I don't think in Mayweather's situation it was so much about being rich. It was more about discipline. His father was very disciplined. I think no matter how rich you are, it's how you train your kids. A lot of us raise kids, but part of raising kids is having to train them. And you got to give them, you know, operate their brain to think a certain type of way. And I think his father, they might have not been rich. They probably was poor, I'm sure. Mayweather Sr. was a boxer, though, too. But what played a major role was the discipline. You know what I'm saying? Look at Schofield. He's getting some success in his career, too. He just knocked out Tevin Farmer in the very first round. And he seems like there wasn't mad broke growing up because he has a nice father. But the father's there, and his discipline, the way they teach them. A lot of us, you know, we held on to the thought of and the idea of, you know, making excuses because we were raised by a single mother. But then now we're starting to see more fathers in the picture. And before, I remember, like, you used to get clowned for having both parents. Now the motherfuckers that have single mothers are getting clowned. I'm seeing that a lot, and I honestly, that makes me happy because that might shift how things are in this community. We need to clown motherfuckers that are born with a single mother. And we need to clown because that way we could see less of it moving forward. Be like, okay, I don't want my kids to be clowned for being raised by a single mother, so I'm going to be there and try to make it work the best I can with the woman I made a kid with. And then the woman might be like, yeah, that, and I'm going to try to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But growing up, you used to get clowned if you had a father. It was weird as shit. Like, if your father was there for you, your mom was there for you, you was fucking Clarence. You know what I'm saying? You was Clarence from 8 Mile. Papa Doc, that's who you was. You know what I'm saying? Clarence's parents had a real good marriage. So my thing is, we're going through a shift in the world where I feel like it's a great thing. I didn't like I was raised by a single mom, and I felt like a lot of us naturally hold on to that until we break out of that as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? My father was never there, and then we'll crack on kids that do have fathers. It made no fucking sense. Now we're going through a stage where if you had if you was a raised by a single mother, you getting clowned. And I like that idea because now these kids that did have single mothers don't use that as an excuse for anything. And when they have kids, they be like, okay, you know what? I want to be there for my kids because I didn't like how it was being raised by a single mom. And I also don't want my kids to deal with what I had to deal with. Motherfuckers that were raised by single mothers should get fucking clowned every day. Maybe we could break the cycle then. Even if I got 10 million right now, I will continue to work out and be calm with the money. Instant gratification, huge problem in this time. And yeah, exactly, bro. It's all when you have so much money. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I had millions of dollars before. So you never know when you get there. But I know I blew what I considered a lot of money before, and it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like I just blew it. But I made investments that went bad, and not investments that were bad investments. I took a lot of risk. That's what I'll say. And during that risk, it was for a positive, for a positive reason. Things didn't turn out how I planned, and all the money went to waste because I kept utilizing it for this risk. And during that process, even though I didn't get the success I was hoping for after that, what I did get was a lesson learned, So now whenever I do have that, bag again, or whenever I go through these situations, I understand what not to do. I understand what I learned from that was not to be impulsive, because sometimes you see an opportunity and you're impulsive with that risk but sometimes you got to just, what is meant for you will be meant for you. And as long as you continue doing what you do, believe me, God will not steer you in the wrong direction. Chat familia, drop W's in the chat. I always wanted to say that. Drop the W's in the chat. Drop a thorma in the chat. I believe if you're raised by a single mother, the problem is more getting the feminine energy from her. Yeah. You see it with some dudes getting emotional quick. Yeah. They get emotional real quick. I used to get emotional quick too. I was raised by a single mom and sisters, and I was seen as more of the, the person they called to try to handle a certain situation, and the shit was getting stressful, but I got emotional because I didn't have that balance of masculinity. I got that through the streets, and that's why I was always caught up outside, because that's where I was around people I could relate with, going through similar situations, and even though it was getting into bad shit, I was feeling like I was getting love and respect from doing that, and I wasn't finding that elsewhere. So that's why I stuck around, and eventually, it caused me to go through a lot of destruction. But I would never, I don't think I would ever been in this position if I hadn't gone through that destruction. I had to go through a real dark place. You know what I'm saying? And what I recommend everybody, that if you're going through something, don't put your weight on somebody else's shoulders, because you're never gonna understand how, you're never going to truly appreciate the good times if you don't really go fully through the dark times. Go through the motherfucking dark times. Just forget about everything. Bite down, go through the dark times. And the problem why motherfuckers keep making the same mistakes is because they go through the dark time half-assing it. They partially go through it. They put their weight on somebody else. They try to find easy way out, shortcuts and shit like that. And then the problem is solved already, but it was through the grace of the people around them. And then they go through a similar situation again and fail again. That's what happened. Like, for example, Devin Haney, he should have just went through the dark. But guess what? He kept putting this shit on other people. His dad was there for him and all that. And now he got to pay child support for 18 years for a woman that's going to try to drain him out of every dollar he got. You know what I'm saying? Now he's on trying to get a cop out on Twitter. Oh, she's trying to get everything out of me. She's trying. No, nigga, don't try to put the weight on Twitter, nigga. Don't try to put that weight on nobody else, bro. Suck it up. Do what you gotta do. It is what it is. Go through the dark times, cause that's what's gonna build character. Money doesn't discipline. You see people with money, and they're the worst kids, and then you have parents with money, but discipline is first before anything. Yeah, man. Definitely. It's crazy. It hit different, man. Definitely hit different. How long we been on this month? I got a new setup here. Like I reset my whole ish up, man. That's one thing about this YouTube ish too, man. I'm always setting up because I can't stay still, bro. I don't even got ADHD, but I always want to see improvement somewhere. So one thing I do gotta fix, because my screen is for a monitor, for a computer monitor, it's pretty big, but it's not big enough for me to really see the details on what's going on in this software. So I got another screen right over here. Got 2 joints, but I gotta find a way how to put this one closer where I could see better. And I do got this one here, but I just don't want to be looking down. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather look over here. I gotta figure it out. I'll have it figured out. Not this time, but next time. Yeah, man. Make sure to hit that like.
You do want me to search you? I have the gloves on if you want me to. ¿No tienes algo, zapatos?
No.
¿Pocillos?
Nada.
¿No tienes nada?
Mi celular aquí en la bolsa de atrás.
Aquí has it.
A ver.
No tienes nada contigo, ¿verdad? No. Yes, pockets in the front of the jacket.
¿El teléfono?
Sí. El phone. I know when you're ready, dude. Oh, what's on the
Next week will chaos. I can't wait for the press conference already. What press conference is it next week? I need to find out what press conference is it next week. Is it the Berlanga one? That's the one. I wish there's done. Well, all right, I'll be honest. I get why they might not have Sabro and Puello on there. I think it makes sense. They're both Spanish. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it might not add that much excitement. I'll be honest. I don't think that fight, that them in the press conference will add the most excitement. I think, if Sabro was to win, and then they could make a fight with him and Teofimo Lopez or something, I think that has to be. You can't put that in the undercard. That has to be a main event. Right now, Teofimo Lopez needs Sabro Matias to win. And not duck that fight. Because that's his biggest, him and Gary Anton Russell, I would say, is his biggest fight as far as financially. He already ducked Devin Haney. He's not getting that. He wants to be the A side. He wants to get and he's getting the results that he's getting, and it's not going nowhere. They actually got video coming out. Is fucking the T.O.'s he be on some goof shit, man. It's hard to be a fan of his, and a lot of motherfuckers used to get on me. Now you don't even see T.O. fanboys defending him no more. They act like they don't see my ish, but I know y'all see it because them views going up. I believe T.O. has random as his mandatory. Yeah. He's gonna find a way to cop out. And if I'm not mistaken, he already faced his mandatory with Barboza. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he has the opportunity to have a voluntary defense. I'm not sure how it works for the WBO, but I'm sure that after he defended it against Barboza, he could negotiate something, which is the reason why he might have tried to get these other fights. But The shit about him with he was ducking everybody, calling everybody out. That's why I'm glad Boots didn't entertain him, because he probably would have wasted his time. He was calling out Bud Crawford only to say, "Oh, I just wanted to spar you." He called out Devin only to duck him, and he called out Brian Norman only to duck him, making excuses. Got excuses for every. He told Devin, "Oh, he don't, no, he needs me." That's what he said to Devin. That's why he didn't take the fight. "Oh, he needs me. I don't need him. He needs me." Motherfucker, you need a fight. That's what you need to do. You need a fight, you dumb fuck. Then, he's Sabril Matias. He's gonna get paid his highest with Sabril. And it's funny because he ducked Brian because they was trying to do the fight in LA and he didn't like that. And then the other excuse was that they was gonna give him a 5-fight extension if he beat a champion. And then now he had the opportunity to fight Sabril, who wasn't a champion, and he was getting paid his highest for that, plus the back end of the pay-per-view buys if they was able to make it past the threshold. That was a chance for him to prove that he was a superstar. They was going to do it in Las Vegas. He ducked that and made a whole bunch of excuses talking about, "Hey, why we didn't do it in this place? Oh, who am I fighting? Oh, this, that, and third." Bro's a joke, bro. I don't care what nobody said, man. Great boxing ability, but as a champion, nah, man. That's probably one of the worst champions 140 ever had. Matias said that he might be there for the conference. He said he might trying to see one of my boys. The problem that he takes his little daughter all the time. Okay, we'll see. We'll definitely see, man. Tio wants to see the other fighters fight each other and then try to unify when the fight has 3 belts. Yeah, I could see that happen. That's actually a great point. I could definitely see why he's not trying to defend his he's not trying to unify right now. And I feel like that might be, you're definitely onto something with that. That he's just trying to wait it out, let the champions fight each other, and get an easy way to become undisputed. Kind of like how Devin Haney did it. Haney is taking all his shine right now. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't like Devin Haney, but one thing I will say, and I want to say I don't like him, like I don't know him personally, but one thing I will say about Devin Haney is that I was truly disappointed in his performance against Ramirez since he ran away the whole time. But if there's any fighter that, he would have got my respect for it to challenge, it would have been Brian Norman, because that's a fight I would have thought he would have wanted to avoid, especially after that knockout that Brian Norman delivered. Brian is still young. He's strong. He's powerful. He's going to look to close the distance. He's coming off a spectacular knockout of the year candidate, which it's not even a candidate at this point. That's the knockout of the fucking decade type shit. That was scary. And he's facing up against him. Yeah, it's hard now if you would have fought somebody else that's not as that level, and but no, he's facing Brian Norman, who should be able to cut off the ring to get close enough to to Devin Haney to land some punches. So I gotta give respect to Devin Haney. Teofimo Lopez just tricked everybody that follows him. But it's shit I've been saying since day one. Yeah, you're definitely right. Tio declined, and Tio, I think, declined Norman. Yeah, he did. No, he did decline Norman. I had covered that a little bit ago when it happened. He got interviewed. It was through the Boxing Voice. And they said that while he was on there, they asked him why he didn't fight Brian Norman. Like, what happened with that fight? And he simply said, they wanted it in LA, and he didn't want it in LA. It's like, bro, who gives a shit? You're getting a title. You don't get to say or do what you want. You're getting a title shot. That means he's ducking. It was in LA, and that the 5 that his contract, he'll get a 5-fight extension, right? Then why are you calling out Brian Norman and Boots Ennis? So it's a premeditated duck. He knew he was gonna duck from the begin with. because his contract always said that. And then all of a sudden he's calling these fighters out, knowing that his contract says he's gonna do extension. So now he's letting it be know that, you know, that's why I didn't fight him, because I got extension. So why you call him out for, doofus? Why you call these fighters out for, if you know if you fight a champion and you beat him, you're gonna have to get a 5-fight extension on your contract with Top Rank, right? And then the other excuse was because he didn't go to he didn't want to have to fight in LA. But you know that this for your chance to get a world title. It'll make no sense. And that's why he got exposed after that when he dug Subriel. Because Subriel was a contender. And Subriel was a ranked fighter. And he was getting paid his most. And he was able to get pay-per-view as well after the threshold. And he came up with excuses. Oh, they won it in Vegas. Why not New York? Why not this? Bro, why would you want to have it in a place where it's going to benefit your opponent and not you? And even if you go to Vegas, Subriel got Mexican fans. You were with Canelo at the time. There's Mexican fans there. Like, it's just, like, bro, he's goofy. It's just goofy shit, man. When you got the opportunity to back up what you've been saying and you don't do it. You know what's worse than losing a fight? Ducking a fade. That's worse. When you're starting a problem, when you're looking for problems and you're looking for beef, ducking the fade is way worse than losing the fade. It's better to go in there and lose, because you lose with honor. But starting the fade and then ducking it, starting a problem to duck it, is not commendable at all, man. It's not honorable at all. You know, you should be shunned for some shit like that. He did the same thing with Matias. He called him out, then tried to turn on saying Matias, like, yeah, he does that to everybody. Oh, everybody ducked. According to Teofimo Lopez, this is the difference between, this is a perfect example. Ducking, when somebody is countering a date, they're not countering the budget. That's not ducking. Subriel Matias simply said, let's do it a month after the date that they asked him, because Subriel Matias already publicized that he had a hand injury before they even received the offer from Teofimo Lopez. So why are you even making an offer to an injured fighter, right? So Matias said, okay, no, I got the fight. I'll take it. I just can't take it this soon. Can we do, late March, early April? They said no. You could consider that ducking, because they just shut down negotiations after that. The person who shuts down negotiations is the person who ducked. It's not the person who didn't take the first offer. That's the difference between who's ducking and who's not. That's the shit that people got confused. The person who let the negotiations fall apart is the person who ducked. It's not the person who countered the first offer. Nobody really takes the first offer. That's a business move. That's something people tell you. Don't ever take the first offer. I'm not sure if y'all heard that. If you didn't, that's a part of business. That's a business type of strategy they tell you. Never take the first offer and see what happens after the first offer. See what else presents itself. So you never take the first offer anyway. But the person who stay away from the agreement, the person that avoids the negotiations, the person that makes it fall apart, is the person who ducks. It's not the person who counters. Because if you guys really want to fight each other, you're gonna figure out a way where both fighters are good. You negotiate. That's a part of negotiations. Okay, that now you don't want to have it here, but you know what? I want to have it here. Okay, I'll let you have it there, but let me just get an extra 3% of the purse. Okay, you know what? You get an extra 3%, but how about this? Well, and you guys, that's how you work. You know what I'm saying? You negotiate, but let's do it on this day better, because I'll have more time to hear. You negotiate. That's what negotiate is. It's an agreement. You guys got to come to an agreement. Teofimo Lopez was running with the idea that if you don't take my offer, that means you ducked. When in fact, that's a complete lie, because ducking is the first person to avoid negotiations to not want to fight you. Subriel Matias countered not the price. He didn't counter the budget. He countered just the date. A month later. What the fuck? And they ducked that. And they allowed the negotiations to fall apart. So Subriel and Eddie Hearn at the time, which was his promoter, Matchroom. They sent Bob Arum and Teofimo Lopez another offer and said, listen, after you guys fight Jermaine Ortiz, then let's make it mandatory for us to fight each other. They ducked that. They didn't counter it. They didn't do nothing. So that's another duck. Because they allowed that offer to fall apart. They didn't respond to the offer. And they allowed the negotiations to fall apart to not make it happen. Which means that they weren't really, Teo didn't really want to fight. Then we get the third time. Where he supposedly, after calling out champions, now didn't want to fight the champions because he was going to fight. That would mean he would have to have a 5-fight extension. Even though he was calling them out. Why the fuck was you calling them out? We don't know. So, this was an opportunity to fight a contender like Subriel Matias. And he was going to get paid his highest he ever got paid at that time. And he was going to get the back end of the pay-per-view numbers. And guess what? He didn't take that fight. And he allowed negotiations to fall apart. That's where he ducked Subriel Matias 3 times. Subriel didn't duck once. Only fanboys, and I challenge anybody. I could challenge anybody to this. Call anybody out right now. And I would challenge them and say who ducked who. Let's put it to the test. Let's do it. And if they say that Teofimo Lopez ducked and they sticking to that, that means they don't know shit about the business of boxing. They just don't. You know what I'm saying? That's not how you do business. You don't call somebody out being a duck because they kept countering. They was countering to see how we can make this agreement. I don't just go in here and say, listen, you bought a basketball for $20, right? But I want to buy it for you for $1. I just say, listen, I'm gonna offer you $1 for the ball. You'd be like, nah, man, maybe I'll do it for $5. And you'd be like, nah, F that. You don't really want to ball. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was the best, but it was pretty decent. It was a pretty decent analogy. I'll give me props for that. But let's be honest, that's what it is. It's like somebody selling a basketball for $20, but you want to buy it for $1, and they're like, you know what? I could do it for $5, but you're like, nah, you don't really want a ball, bro. You don't really want to sell your ball. And that's what Teo's doing this whole time, bro. Bullshit. I got Berlanga. If he loses after so much shit talk, I would accept the loss, but not F with no more. I feel you. Hey, you your own fan, man. You know what you want. Teo don't want Matias. He don't, man. It's all goofy-ish, man. They all goofy, if you want me to be honest. Teo, I've been calling it out. Matias' hand was hurt. Yup. And they be on some goofy stuff, bro. I'll be honest. It's all goofy shit. Corny, yeah. Yeah, man. It's sick. It's really sick. It's sick work, bro. And I've been calling this out for a minute. And if you notice, people, they disappear now because they can't stick up for them. Their favorite channels are not even sticking up for them. But it is what it is. That being said, I'm off this joint. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. Peace. Dom!